Hey, I'm Jason Brown with thebrownreport.com, and in this video, I'm going to break down the 4 stages of learning as it relates to the stock market. Now, these 4 stages are not just for the stock market, but it can be used and applied when trying to learn anything. And it's important to know each stage and where you're at, and more importantly, the traps to avoid, which we're going to break down in this video. So pay special attention to stage 1 and stage 4, because you'll be surprised at the traps that you'll run into at those levels. Let's dive into the video. What we're going to talk about tonight is the 4 stages of learning, right? We call it the 4 stages of competency, and how to go from a beginner to a confident stock trader. But I really want to break down these 4 stages of learning as it relates to the stock market, specifically, but business, life in general, because I think a lot of people don't understand these 4 stages of learning, and so they get frustrated and they never begin the journey. So depending on where you are in the process, I want you to identify where you're at in these 4 stages of learning, and then at the end, let me leave a comment, let me know where you're at. So all right, so we're live. Again, if you're just joining us, go ahead, type in the box. Let me know where you're from. I'd love to hear where you're chiming in from. So go ahead and type in the box. That also lets me know that you can hear me and that the audio is working okay. So we got Trayvon here from San Antonio, Texas. Welcome. Forget that there's a delay. So let's talk about the 4 stages of learning. And let me set the stage. This topic is important because, I've done, over 1 million views in YouTube, thousands of subscribers. We've sold thousands of courses on the stock market. And I get, tons of emails from our email subscribers. And depending on the conversation that they email me or what they say when they email me, I can always tell where they're at in the 4 stages of learning, which is what we're going to talk about tonight. And the 4 stages of learning is unconscious incompetence. Then there's conscious incompetence, which is really interesting. And then there's conscious competence, and then there's unconscious competence. We're going to break down all 4 of those tonight. And I see you guys are chiming in. We got Kanika Pulum from Atlanta, Georgia, Wordsmith from Seattle, Jamal is in Philly, Joseph is in North Dakota, Rachel's in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And if you're just joining us again, let me know where you're from. That just lets me know you can hear me and audio is working well. And feel free to hit the thumbs up or the like button throughout so that I know you're alive and you're paying attention, all right? So let's get into the content. 4 stages of learning how to go from a beginner to a confident stock trader. So let's talk about the first stage of learning and the first stage of competency. The first stage, as you can see here, is unconscious incompetence. And when you really think about what that means, if you don't know what it means, in the simplest terms, it means you don't know what you don't know. You're unaware that there's even something for you to learn. And so with being in that stage of not being aware, there's also some feelings and some emotions that come along with that. And so what do I mean by, you're unaware that you don't know what you need to, you don't know that there's something you need to know. For example, with the stock market, you may not even know that the market exists. Maybe you don't know that people make money from it. You don't even know that it's possible for you. So you're like, I'm just oblivious to what's going on with the stock market, right? So that's unconscious incompetence, okay? All right, so unconscious incompetence, you're unaware, and the emotions that happen at this level, you're normally a skeptical person. That's the person that's like, what do you mean they make money online? What do you mean you can make money from the stock market? You mean to tell me everyday average people are doing that? So a person in that stage, they're skeptical. They're usually cynical as well. They're like, I don't believe that. That's a scam. How does that work? So they also have doubt, right? When you're at the unconscious incompetence level, you don't know what you don't know. So you doubt that it's true. You doubt that things are true. You doubt that things actually work. People make money online. The stock market could work for everyday average people. You're in this mindset of disbelief because you're unconscious incompetent, right? So incompetent means you just don't understand, you don't know what's going on, and you're unconscious. You don't even know that, you're not even aware that you should be aware of what's going on. Does that make sense? And the last one that's really dangerous is your friends don't believe either, right? So these are the people that you go home, you talk to your friends, you say, I saw this video on Facebook. This guy was talking about making money online and making money from the stock market. What that stuff, I don't even know what that is. That doesn't work. And your friends also say, yeah, that's a scam. Don't believe it. Or nobody makes money online or from the stock market, right? So it's kind of dangerous because your circle of influence usually thinks that way too. And this is probably the most dangerous state to stay in because things are going on around you. People are making money. The market's moving with or without you, with or without your money. And you don't even know that it's a thing, that it is something that you could be a part of. So this is a dangerous state to stay in, just unaware, skeptical, cynical, you doubt, your circle of friends don't even know what's going on. So that's a dangerous place to be in. Now, let's talk about the next phase, which is conscious incompetence, okay? In this state, you are aware that there is a stock market. You are aware that people are making money online. There's people making money off, YouTube or and different things like that, Facebook. But you're unaware of you're aware, but you're incompetent to how it all works. Meaning, people are doing it, but you have no idea how it works, okay? And so this stage is better than the last one, which is unconscious incompetence, because that person's just not even aware. They like, I don't know what's going on, I don't believe it, and I just want to stay ignorant, I don't even want to learn, right? At least this person is saying, I'm aware, I know some people who do it, I've heard about it, I just don't know how to make it work for me, okay? And so if you're in that stage, these are probably the feelings that you're going to be experiencing, right? So you know that you don't know, and that's important, right? The worst person in the world is a smarty pants who know it all. There's nothing else for me to learn. This person who's conscious and competent, it's like saying, hey, I know that I don't know. It's like me talking to a doctor or a surgeon. Listen, I know about the stock market. I know about internet marketing. I know about YouTube, Facebook. I know about technology, but I have no idea about doing open heart surgery. So I am conscious and competent in that area. I know that it's something that I do not understand, right? So it's the same thing with the stock market. You may be conscious and competent saying, hey, I know that I don't know, but most importantly, you're aware that it's possible. And once you're aware, that plants a seed of hope because you're aware that it's possible. You just don't know how it works. And so from that, you normally begin your search. You're like, well, I heard about it. Let me start looking. Let me see if it's something that I could possibly do. Let me see if there's any truth to this. Let me see what it takes to get started. This is where you might start looking on YouTube. You might start Googling stuff. You're like doing your research because you're like, I heard about it, but let me see if it's true. And then once you find what's going on with the stock market, how it works, you might go through this phase where you're unsure of your ability. You're like, well, that guy looks pretty smart, so it worked for him. I don't know if it can work for me, all right? And that's normal in that stage because it's something that you've never done before. So it's normal for you to feel unsure of your ability. You haven't had any training. You're just in the research phase and you're trying to put everything together and make sure that it's something for you. And keep sending me hearts, smiley faces, thumbs up. Let me know that you're out there. I keep checking the iPad just to make sure we're still connected. So send me the thumbs ups, the hearts, and keep letting me know where you're from if you're just chiming in, all right? We're on stage 2 of the learning process, the conscious incompetence, all right? And then at this stage, you might also make mistakes. So if you get into the game of stock trading, you might make mistakes at this level. The problem is if you don't realize that you're in this level, what happens is as you start doing your research, you could get analysis paralysis. You start researching like, oh, it's too many people to learn from. Should I go bullish? Should I go bearish? Do I learn call options? Do I day trade? Do I learn penny stocks? Do I trade Forex? Do I trade currency? How about commodities, right? So you start kind of shooting in all these different areas, and you can get analysis paralysis, right? So you research so much that you freeze up and you don't do anything at all. You're like, it's just too much information, this whole stock market thing. I don't know if this thing is for me, it's just too much. But if you know that you're in this area, then you know that you're going to be researching a lot, getting a lot of information. So you can kind of prep yourself like, hey, don't get overwhelmed. I know I'm in the conscious and competent stage where I'm just beginning my search. I know I'm unsure if it works for me. And then even if I get into this industry, you're bound to make some mistakes. I want you to think about your first day on your job, right? You interviewed, you're like, I think I want to go for this job. Then you got in the interview and they told you more about it. You're like, okay, I think I can do it. Well, then you got your first day on the job and like you're unsure of your ability. Everybody else there is seasoned, and then you might make mistakes. It's the same thing in the stock market. But what's important at this level is that you learn from your mistakes. So many people come in at this level and guess what? They trying to get rich, right? You trying to get rich at the conscious incompetence level. This is not the level to get rich. This ain't even the level to make money at. This is the level where you should be learning the craft, learning the language, learning how the market works, maybe sticking your toe in the water, placing some practice trades, making some mistakes, and keyword here, learning from those mistakes. But many people come in at the conscious and competence level and they're like, I want to be rich. I want to quit my job. Like you got to understand the levels and where you're progressing through, which we'll get to the level of mastery, but it ain't this one right here. You're not quitting your job. You're not buying the house or the car right here. You're simply researching the industry, trying to figure out who you want to follow, whose style of trading you like, and trying to, build your confidence in your abilities, and then you're learning from your mistakes in this category right here, the conscious and competent. So if that makes sense, throw me a thumbs up, give me a heart, let me know that makes sense to you, all right? So now we're gonna move to the next level in the learning process. So the first level, let me just back it up and recap for those who might be coming in a little late, right? So the first level was unconscious incompetent, meaning you're just unaware, you're skeptical, you're cynical, you doubt, your friends don't believe, ain't nobody around you making money online or from the stock market. Second level, you're conscious incompetent, right? Meaning you know that there's something that you don't know, right? Conscious meaning you know there's something you don't know. Incompetent, you're not competent, all right? You know that you don't know, you're aware it's possible, you start your search, you're unsure of your ability, you might make mistakes, all right? Now, as we look at the third one, conscious competence, all right? You've done your research. Maybe you've bought a course or two. Maybe you've placed some practice trades and you understand how it works. But here's the thing. Let me break it down. You understand what to do and how it works, but you have to think before taking action. So it's not second nature to you yet. This isn't something you've been, the stock market or trading isn't something you've been doing for a long time. You still might have to refer back to your notes, right? You're like, what did he say in that module again? Am I bullish? Am I bearish? What stocks to look for? What's a candlestick chart? And if you're hearing this right now, like, what are all those terms, right? You have to go back to the research phase and maybe take a course and get up to the conscious level. Now, a couple things about this level I want to touch on that may kick in, because this may be you, all right? Impatience kicks in at this level, right? You were already aware that there was something you didn't know. But once you started to learn about it and you became conscious competent, you opened your trading account, you put a couple $1,000s in there, you're ready to go. Now you're ready to retire, you're ready to fire your boss. And so at this stage, impatience can kick in, right? You're trying to push the limits. You want to, how do I speed this up, right? And so this is where the temptation to deviate from the plan comes in. And these two are dangerous because it can knock you out at this level and not allow you to get to the level of mastery. Because what happens? You made one or two trades, you made a little bit of money, and now you feeling yourself, right? You like, I got this. I know what I'm doing. Let me put my whole savings into the stock market, because you're impatient and you're trying to speed up the process of firing your boss, buying your dream house, buying your dream car, whatever that situation is. And so that's why stock trading, or any business for for that matter, is it's not just about learning the mechanics, but I also like to come on and teach you the mindset and the different things that you'll go through, so you'll recognize, hey, I'm in this impatient area and I need to be more patient. I'll give you a perfect example. Right now, the year is in and out and the stock market has been like on a nice little rally. And so you may be tempted to just throw a bunch of money into the market as if we don't have all of 2017 to trade and make some money, right? You try to get everything in December and close out the year strong instead of saying, hey, look, I made a couple dollars. I learned. I understand what to do. I might have to go back to my notes, but hey, I got a whole year ahead of me and I'm not just going to jump the gun right now. And so that's why the impatient, understanding that you might be impatient and getting control of that, that's why that's important at this level. And then the temptation to deviate from the plan. Here's the problem with this one. Now you like, okay, Jason Brown told me only look for these type of stocks, only buy at support, sell at resistance. Well, I'm going to buy it anyway, even though I know it's not at support, because you're starting to deviate from the plan because you're impatient. So now what happens? You lose money. And when you lose money, you start thinking what? Oh, I knew this didn't work. I don't know why I thought I could do this. This is for other people. It's not that it doesn't work. You got impatient and you tried to speed things up. You tried to speed up firing your boss, speed up getting out of debt. And so the temptation to deviate from what I taught you or from the plan of how the stock market works or your long-term plan, you start deviating from that. And then ultimately, you kind of just sabotage the whole thing and ruin your whole chances of making it to the top, all right? So let's talk about level 3 here. And then let me just unlock the iPad, make sure I can see your comments, make sure the hearts and the thumbs up are still coming in, all right? So now let's talk about the 4th and final level. So just to recap, in case you're late or you're just coming in, first level is unconscious incompetence, right? As it relates to learning and specifically the stock market. You're unaware that there's a stock market. You're unaware that you can participate in it as a retail trader, as we call it. You're skeptical, cynical, doubtful. You got friends around you. They don't believe. That's the most dangerous situation to be in. Second situation, in the second level of learning, is conscious incompetent. All right, you know that there's something you don't know, right? You're aware that it's possible. You're just unsure if it's possible for you. That's where you start your search. Again, you're probably on YouTube, you're Googling, you're trying to figure out, do I trade penny stocks, Forex, commodities, day trading, options? You're all over the place, right? And then you might make mistakes, and it's important to learn at that level. So we're just recapping. And then conscious competence, you bought a course, you studied it, excuse me, you opened your stock trading account, all right? You may have to refer to your notes, but you got to be careful of being impatient and then the temptation to deviate from the plan because you're trying to speed it up, get out of your job, fire your boss, retire your wife, put the kids through college, buy a house, and you're trying to do it all in 6 months. Don't deviate from the plan. That's a 3 to 5 year plan. Right now, at this stage, you just want to make sure you know what you know, or at least you know what you think you know before you go all in and before you throw the towel in and kind of abandon what could be a blessing for you, which is your money making money for you instead of you always working so hard for it. Now, let's talk about the level of mastery. This is unconscious competence, okay? This is the level that everyone should aspire to get to. And again, in this case, with respect to the stock market, but you know, if it's your job, it's your home-based business, whatever it is, I'm talking about the stock market, but whatever it is, for you, you should aspire to get to this level of unconscious competence. So what does that mean? Let me break down unconscious competence. Unconscious means you don't even think about it anymore. You just do it because you're competent. You know exactly what's going on, right? So I might sit down at my computer, pull up the charts, go through it. There's times where I don't even have to draw lines on the chart. I'm like, okay, that's an uptrend. Okay, it's a Bollinger Band breakout. And people are like, you don't even got a Bollinger Bands on the chart. You don't even have any lines drawn. I'm like, I've seen it so many times that I'm unconscious competence. I don't even need to draw lines on the chart. You can give me a chart with some lines. I'll be like, okay, that's a bullish stock. Okay, that's breaking out. I bet you it gapped up there because I've seen it so many times that I'm unconscious competent, okay? This is the level of mastery. All right. So you have a routine. You know what you do every night. I open the computer. I look at the charts. I draw my lines. I check the S&P 500. I go down through the sectors and see what sectors are moving. Then we drill down to the individual stocks. And if you're in part of our Power Trades University, you know we do that every Monday night. It's because I'm trying to help my students get the routine down so that it can be second nature. We don't even have to think about it. We know what to do, right? Now, here's the thing. At this level, you just execute, all right? And most importantly, because you just execute, there's no emotion, okay? When you're at those other levels, you're emotional. I don't know if it works. I lost $100. What am I gonna do? I don't know if this is for me. Listen, I've lost as much as 75, 80 grand in one trade, all right? But I don't get as emotional about that stuff anymore. I know that it's just part of the game, because guess what? This is a 3, 5, 10-year plan. For me, it's a lifetime plan because I don't see myself ever not trading and investing in the stock market. So I'm not going to get down on myself about a bad month or even a bad year or a bad 2 years if this is something I'm going to be doing for a lifetime and for a long time, right? So you just execute. You don't even get emotional at this level. You're like, emotion, what's that? It's just part of the game. I lost $1,000. We'll get them tomorrow. We'll get them on the next trade. So that's why this is the level of mastery. Now, here's the thing you have to be cautious of at this level. Right here, you see it? You got to be cautious of cockiness at this level. And I'll admit, I've fallen into this one a few times. And when I get cocky, guess what? I lose money. And that losing that money finds a real funny way of humbling me, right? I'm like, I got this. I'm the man. I'm teaching people how to trade in the stock market. I got millions of YouTube views, thousands of followers. I'm selling thousands of courses. I know how to trade. I could teach anybody how to trade. That's a scary place to be in. And I'm gonna admit, I've been there before. And I try to humble myself before the stock market humbles me and makes me lose some money. But every now and then I get bumped on the head and say, hey, you getting too cocky, right? You unconscious competence. So you think you just got it and you're on cruise control. So this is the level to aspire to, but you gotta watch out for the cockiness at this level, because that's when you start deviating from your plan. You start putting more money into trades than you should. Okay, you start taking risks that you normally wouldn't take because you're like, everything I touch just turns to gold. Right? And that's the one time where you lose about $5, $10, $15, $20,000. Ask me how I know that, right? So trust me, this is the level you want to aspire to without the cockiness. But here's the thing. If I didn't tell you about this, guaranteed you're going to get to this level and you're going to be feeling yourself. You're like, yeah, I made $10,000 last year. My wife should bow down to me and wash the dishes and bring me dinner. Come to Papa, right? You're going to get cocky. You're going to get cocky. And that's why I'm trying to forewarn you about the levels of learning, because there's something at each stage here, all right? So again, give me a thumbs up, a heart. Let me know you're out there and this is making sense. I want to bring it back to the beginning and just recap and bring you back all the way to the level of mastery, all right? So if you're just joining us or you're watching the replay, number one, let us know where you're from, okay? I love to see where you're from. And then we're talking about the 4 stages of learning. Now, this doesn't just apply to the stock market. It's across any continuum. I'm in a bunch of internet marketing groups and I see the new people come in all the time, and I don't think they really understand the 4 stages of learning. So what they do is they get frustrated. I don't know how to create a blog. I don't have no traffic, right? They got to understand the level. So again, I'm going to bring you through all 4 levels and then we'll close out this live, right? So first level, unconscious incompetent. You're unaware that you can make money online. Specifically, you're unaware that you can make money in the stock market. You didn't even know you can open an account and fund it yourself and trade online, right? And at this level, you're skeptical. You might be cynical. You might come across my video and be like, who is this guy? I bet he lying. Where does he live? He's probably a fraud, right? So you're skeptical, you're cynical, you doubt. And here's the worst part. You got friends that don't believe. So your whole circle of influence, they like, yeah, don't do that. That's stupid. Why would you do that? That doesn't work for people like us. You got to separate yourself from people like that at this level, because this is just ignorance. It is. And ignorance isn't a bad thing. It just means you don't know something. You're ignorant. You just don't know what's going on. Now, here's the level of people that I like to reach, because they're conscious that they are incompetent. They're conscious that they don't know something, okay? So at this level, they know that there's something that they don't know. They're aware that it's possible, at least for other people, but they're unsure if it can work for them. They begin their search online, YouTube, Google searching, how to make money in the stock market, right? You start getting in that research stage, and again, you could get analysis paralysis. You're not sure if you should day trade, Forex trade, penny stock trade, option trade. You don't know which. I'm following 5 people. I don't know which one to follow, right? It's okay, but you just have to understand you're in that research phase, and you might make some mistakes. I want to reiterate that this is not the level that you're trying to get rich in. This is research phase. This is you trying to make sure that this is something you think you can do, and find out who you want to follow and what style you want to follow. All right. And then stage 3, conscious competence. You understand what to do, but you got to think before taking action. You might have to refer to your notes. Okay. But you got an account, you're making some money. Maybe you're placing some trades, you're learning. Got to be careful not to be impatient, because impatient kicks in and you might deviate from the plan. And I'm telling you, that's a bad day when you deviate from the plan. It's like driving a car, and the plan is before you switch lanes, put the signal on, right? One day you're going to be like, I'm just going to switch lanes. I'm not going to put the turn signal on, right? Boom, it's a car right there. Or a car speeds up because he didn't know you were switching lanes, right? Same thing with the stock market, right? You don't want to deviate from the plan and self-sabotage yourself from your financial success with allowing your money to work for you. And then the 4th and final level of learning, specifically as it relates to the stock market, but with any industry, is unconscious competent, which just simply means you don't even have to think about what you know. You just know what you know. Again, I talked about how I can look at a stock chart. I don't have to draw lines or nothing. I can say that's an uptrend. That's a Bollinger Band breakout. That's a downtrend in the stock. It looks like it's going sideways. I just see it because I've been looking at this stuff for the last, 13 years. I've been trading since 2003. So I've been looking at this stuff for 13 years. So of course, when I see it, I'm unconscious competent on this stuff. It's just like, oh, I get it, right? All right, this is the level of mastery. At this level, you've developed a routine, or you should have a routine, and it's second nature, and you just execute. But more importantly, right here, don't get emotional. You want to get to this level just so that you don't get emotional. Money is an emotional thing for most people, and they hate going out working for it and then putting it in a market or something like that and actually losing their money. And I understand that. But once you understand that it's just part of the game and that this is a long-term thing, a lifetime thing for me, I'm not upset about a bad week, a bad month, or even a bad year or a bad 2 years, because I know long-term I'm going to master this thing and I'm going to milk this cow and pull some money out of it. Does that make sense, right? But you want to be cautious of the cockiness, right? You're at this level, you're like, I got it. I know what I'm doing, right? I don't even have to watch it anymore. I just put money in and boom, it's raining money, right? You get cocky at that level. I've been there, and I'm telling you, I got slapped upside the head with a $50, $75, $80,000 loss. And you'd think I'd be crying. I probably was crying at that point, like, oh my God, what happened? But like, after a while, you're like, okay, that's just part of the game. If you're trading a big account, right, you might lose some big money, but big picture, you know where you're going. You know you're going to be in this thing for the long term. And again, for me, the life term. All right. So hopefully that made sense to you. And what I'd love for you to do at the end or during this webinar, or not webinar, this is a Facebook Live, right? Again, let me know where you're from. And then the other thing I want you to do is I want you to identify what level that you're at. Okay. I want you to let me know in the comments. Are you unconscious incompetent, meaning you just don't know how it works, don't know what's going on? Are you conscious incompetent, meaning you know it exists, you know it works, you just need to figure out how to make it work for you and you're in the research phase? And then let me know if you're conscious competent, meaning you bought one of my courses, you took somebody else's courses, you understand what to do, you just might have to refer to your notes. I want to hear from you, right? I want to hear, is impatience kicking in? I want to talk to you. I want to hear from you in the comments. And then if you're unconscious competent, welcome to the club, because that's where I aspire to take all the members of my group to the unconscious competent level, because that's the greatest gift I can give to you, is for you to grow to a point where one day you don't need me. You're like, I got this, Jason Brown. I see the same stuff that you see. And so if you want to learn more about what we're doing, you can also check us out. Let me see if I can bring it up here. You could also come to the website, thebrownreport.com. That's me, obviously, right? Come to the site. And here's the thing. We got a bunch of free trainings to help you get through the levels no matter where you're at. All of these are free, right? 2 webinars, some day trading stuff, some free basic stuff. And then if you're trying to get to the level of mastery, I'm just saying, we got you on the level of mastery too, with foundations, options explained, and then Power Trades University. But more importantly, it's about you identifying where you're at in the process and then asking yourself, what's the next level for me and how do I work through this to get to the top? So I appreciate you tuning in to this live. I'm gonna jump off. I'll jump into the comments, answer any questions, send some shout outs to where you're from. And if you're watching the replay again, let us know where you're from. And everybody, let me know what level you're at or the 4 stages of learning. I appreciate you tuning in with me tonight. I'll see you guys later. This was a bunch of fun. All right, peace. All right, so now that you know the 4 stages of learning as it relates to the stock market, if you haven't done so already, I want you to swing on over to the comments and let me know where you're from. And I'd like to know what stage or what level you're at, just so I can get an idea of where you're at and how I can help you. Also, for more stock market education and training, swing over to my main site, thebrownreport.com, and check out some of our free trainings over there. I'll see you later. What? You'll see them later. What is this, a date?